Hello, Rockoutloud. Welcome back to another installment of our podcast that we do here, specifically for the students that performed at our latest show at the Starland Ballroom. I'm here with Diana.
Hi.
All right. So, Diana, who is your coach?
You.
Me. And what's your favorite thing about lessons?
I really like doing the music theory stuff. That's really fun. Yeah.
That's fun. Did you ever picture yourself doing music theory?
No.
No. You know, a lot of people say that because it's like the boring part of it until you get into it. What would you say is the best part of your favorite area of music theory?
Um, I really like learning about the blues stuff.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just like learning which chords go together and how everything's connected.
Yeah. It like fills in all the blanks and everything starts to make sense, especially because we learn a lot of songs together. But we'll get into what happened or what you did not a few months ago. When was that last show? It was in was it June? Yeah, it was June.
Yeah.
It was June.
Yeah.
The summer's flying by. It's already August. So in June, you performed at the Starland Ballroom.
Yeah.
This wasn't your first show.
No.
So where have you performed before this?
The first time I performed was at the Bitter End in the city.
Okay.
And then I also performed at the Stone Pony.
Wow. Long resume already. That's really good. That's really good. So out of all three venues that you had to choose, which one was your favorite to play at?
I think I really like the Stone Pony.
Pony's nice.
But the Starland Ballroom was also really nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I think one thing though that's really cool about all of it is the fact that there are so many huge names that played on these shows. I mean, from the Bitter End all the way to the Starland Ballroom. I mean, people like Metallica, Lady Gaga, which is it's sometimes weird to think about. You're stepping in the same places they did at one point in time.
That's what was really cool about the Bitter End, because the room where you waited for your turn,
yes,
it had all those the posters from people who played and people signing the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's really crazy to think about, and you leave your own legacy there because you were there with a band of your own, and you performed at the Bitter End, which is great. And the city is a really awesome place, especially for the music scene. So it's great that you already got down there. So let's talk about real quick the entire process of playing a show, because your experience at this point. So you start out by learning the song itself, and then you got your rehearsals on Saturdays. How do those usually go?
I really like those because it was, I learned my part obviously before the rehearsals with the band.
Yeah.
But then you had to figure out how your part connected with everyone else's.
Totally.
You had to change things a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was really fun.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's one of the best parts about the entire Saturday rehearsal experience. Do you think you could take this experience from Saturdays, or even just the experience that you get from doing a show? Can you transfer this if you ever wanted to start your own band? You think you could do that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, same principles, I guess, they apply, which is good. Is that something you see in the future?
I would like to. I hope so.
You want to start a band?
Yeah.
I think Nicole was talking about you starting,
I mentioned it to her.
Yeah.
But I haven't found anyone yet.
Yeah, that's the tough part. The tough part. Clicking with other musicians is definitely, everybody has their own genres that they want to do and all that.
Yeah.
Which is, it is what it is. You'll find your people and you'll make your band.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been playing for?
I think 3 years.
It's been 3 years.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And would you say, what is your primary genre?
I really like rock.
Rock.
Punk rock. Stuff like that.
Yeah. You're also into a lot of really niche stuff that you've introduced me to some songs too that we've done together, and they're great. It's great music. And who would you say you take after music wise? Who gives you your inspiration?
Well, definitely my dad. The songs that I play, definitely one of my dad.
Yeah. So that's where all the inspo comes from? No, that's great.
I listen to a lot of music that my mom listens to, especially as a kid. I mostly listen to her music, but I don't really play that kind of music because she listens to a lot of R&B.
Okay. Yeah.
And I usually play more rock stuff.
Yeah.
It comes from my dad.
Gotcha. And does he play anything?
He does. Well, the guitar that I play was his, but he doesn't play anymore.
Gotcha.
I don't think he really played too much.
Gotcha. Awesome. No, awesome. And one of the most important questions that I'll ask is how has playing these shows, because you've done a lot, how has it changed you as a person?
I think it made me more confident because I really bad social anxiety, and just being in a group of people, talking in front of groups of people was always really hard.
Yeah.
but that kind of like forced me. I mean, obviously I wasn't talking and I wasn't like the main point ever, but
Right.
it still got me in front of like crowds of people.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
helped.
Which is, I'm great. I'm so happy you said that, because that seems to be the one theme across of these shows is that, yes, of course changes you as a musician, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes down to it as a person, you just leave with so much more confidence as a person. And I also can relate, it's, and one thing I want to ask you about too is how you felt the first time you stepped on a stage, because it was the bitter end. I mean, it's not like your first ever show was playing in front of 5 people. There was probably upwards or close to 200 people at the bitter end. How did you feel the first time you ever walked up on a stage at the bitter end compared to how you just felt at the bitter end, at the Starland Ballroom?
At the bitter end, I was really nervous and I was so scared of like messing up, and I was like, before the song started, I was like running through my head like everything that I could do wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started at the Starland Ballroom, I was really excited to like play in front of everyone.
Nice. Less nerves, more just
Yeah.
having fun. Yeah, that's what it's all about. And I think that's why I'm happy that you guys do the shows, is that the more you do, the more comfortable you'll be on a stage, and the more you play, the more you can just have fun. You can think less about what chord am I playing and what's going on. How important would you say trust is in bandmates? Because I think that's huge.
It's pretty huge, I think.
Yeah.
If you don't trust them, then you're going to hesitate on yourself too.
Right. Awesome. And I've been asking this across everybody we've been doing the podcast to, because this is again another big thing. If somebody said, a student here said, Diana, like, I'm doing a show, we have another one coming up in November. They say, I'm doing the show at the Stone Pony. I've never done a show before. Give me some advice.
Just trust yourself and don't worry about the other bandmates, because they're probably not going to mess up.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do, the crowd probably won't know, and you just have to keep going anyways. So
totally
worry about anything but yourself.
I'm so glad you said keep going anyways, because we stress those in the rehearsals, and that was one thing I think we had a big thing with for the early shows. We never really stressed that, but then we talked about in these rehearsals, like, continuing the show is the most important part. What's one thing, if you do another show in the future, which of course I hope you do, what's one thing that you want to improve on as a musician for when you get up on the stage next?
I think just my stage presence, because I feel like I'm still very like stiff, like awkward.
Mm-hmm.
I think I need to work on that.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things to work on.
Yeah.
Because you could do it as much as you want indoors and in your own setting, but the moment you walk up on a stage and you see the crowd of people, it's like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
That's normal. That's totally normal. But I definitely agree with you. That's something that makes a show, is how animated you are and how much you can get a crowd working. Which is great. And any plans in the future as a musician to end things off?
Well, I really want to start a band soon, and I want to start making my own music.
Make your own music. Yeah, you should. You absolutely should, because you're capable. We've done lessons on it, so we'll continue on in the future and write your own stuff. Mm-hmm. Do you sing by chance?
I mean, I like singing, but I'm not great at it. So
same boat as me. No, you're in the same boat. I'm sure you're great. Okay, this has been Diana. She's incredible. Check her out. I'm sure you can find for the later shows some recordings or somewhere, but she's incredible. Great guitar player. And thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.